This is the Shanice Lewis Show, the #1 podcast for plus-size women. With your host, the queen of curvy conversation, Shanice Lewis.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis. Today is Monday, August 24th, 2020. Make sure you're following this show's social media pages on Facebook at The Shanice Lewis Show and on Instagram and Twitter at Shanice Show. And make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app. Today, we have a very special guest. Johnathan Kayne Gillaspie is a successful fashion designer and business owner based in Nashville, Tennessee. Kayne gained notoriety on Project Runway Season 3 in 2006, where he placed in the top 5 designers. He starred on the TLC special Gone Crazy in 2009 and has appeared on E!, ABC, NBC, Bravo, and the Style Network. In 2012, Kayne competed on the second season of Project Runway All Stars on Lifetime Television. He serves as a fashion expert for Country Weekly, Zuus Country, and NStyle Country. A few of his celebrity clients include Jennifer Lopez, Dolly Parton, Miranda Lambert, Martina McBride, Kelly Pickler, Tanya Tucker, Brice, Rascal Flatts, and Reba McEntire. Today, the Johnathan Kayne label is sold to over 1,200 dress boutiques across the U.S., around the world, and online. His latest project is a collaboration with Sydney's Closet, launching the Dangerous Curves collection, a glamorous evening wear for sizes 12 to 24. Let's welcome Johnathan to the show. Hi.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I've been on the road traveling, but we are now in the beautiful city of Chicago, getting ready for a trade show. And my good friends Matt and Phyllis and Michelle from Sydney's Closet are going to be here as well, so I'm excited to see them today.
Oh, wow. So you working. You're not in quarantine.
Girl, no, we working. Let me tell you, we during this crazy pandemic, these crazy times, we're all having to get out here and figure out new ways to show our buyers our product, and most of them want to see it in person. And it's been really nice connecting with them and communicating in person anyway. So yeah, we're hustling, we're grinding out here.
Right. Well, I want to get to know you a little bit better. So were you confident growing up, or was that something that you had to grow into as you got older?
Oh, my goodness. No, ma'am. I literally, it's one of those things. I think it's something that we all kind of deal with growing up. I don't care who you are. From what I've learned and found, it's one of those things where we all have our own internal dialogue in our minds. We're taught certain things and we experience certain things as we move through the world. But growing up, I grew up with 5 sisters, and even just seeing and talking with them and learning from them and listening to them and loving them, it made me realize, most people have no idea how beautiful they are. Like, just no idea. We beat ourselves up so bad. And, that's why I got into this business, was because I saw the beauty in my sisters first, and my mom and grandmother, and, just everyone around me. And I just felt like, I witnessed people just like so self-conscious about things that they really shouldn't be self-conscious about. So I kind of made it my career to help people realize how beautiful they are and help them feel they're most beautiful.
Now, did you always know that you wanted to be a fashion designer, or did you pursue other things first?
Oh, gosh, I absolutely pursued other things first. So my first job when I was 15 years old was at a veterinary clinic, and I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. My first 4 years of college were actually all getting ready for pre-vet. So I thought I was going to be at that clinic. I worked there for 4.5 years and became a certified vet tech. And I love animals, and I loved my pets and still do. And but honestly, once I got an additional job, I've always been kind of a go-getter, but I got an additional job at a clothing boutique where my sisters got their prom formals in town, and what a couple of my sisters did scholarship and beauty pageants, and it's where they got their gowns, and I used to go and help and pick out and customize, and we were customizing their outfits when I was a little boy. So I've been around that part of fashion for a while, but it's such a niche little market. But I got a job at that clothing store in addition to working at the vet clinic, and just really over a couple of years fell in love with the fashion industry.
So when you decided that you wanted to be a professional fashion designer and was ready to launch your brand, what obstacles did you have?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I actually had so many obstacles. The biggest thing was believing in myself that I could actually, launch a brand. So I went to design school. I finally switched my major from pre-vet to fashion design. And it really came because working at both jobs, I kind of felt guilty for getting a paycheck at the boutique that I worked at. And I'd been there for a couple of years, and I'd become a buyer there, traveling to different, fashion cities all over. And I finally was like, you know what, why am I not doing this? I see that it's a viable industry, even though I grew up with, not really a big fashion background at all. And I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to take the leap. But the biggest obstacle once I graduated from design school was really believing in myself that I could mass produce, and really not even having the knowledge. The school teaches you how to create garments, design garments, sketch garments, all of that stuff. But the one regret that I kind of have is that they don't teach you, okay, if you want to own your own fashion house or atelier or something like that, then you really need some business courses. So I never really took any, business courses. So it's just kind of what I call the school of hard knocks. You just kind of, if you fall down, you just jump right back up. It's not a matter of if you fail, it's that you fail fast and you get back up and keep on moving. So probably learning the business acumen to run a business has been the hardest thing. And then of course capital. When you're starting a brand, you definitely need money for payroll taxes and just all these other things that you don't even think about. So, and I'm sure those things would have come in business school, but yeah, those are some of the obstacles that I definitely had to kind of work through.
So by the time Project Runway came around, had you somewhat established yourself, or you were still unknown?
Well, so I was known in my little area. So I was, a couple of little areas. So I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and I started dressing when I worked at the boutique there before I went to design school in New York. I started dressing a lot of pageant girls and ballroom dancers, anyone who was kind of looking for something really glamorous, and even a few country music stars at that time, through a little boutique that I worked at there. So I was doing that a little bit, but I would definitely not say not near the notoriety or recognizing factor that I have now because of Project Runway. And then also in Oklahoma. So I moved to Oklahoma. Love took me out there to Oklahoma City, and I ended up buying a little prom and pageant boutique with my partner at the time. And, I kind of became pretty well known in that area for sure because I started dressing, a lot of the Miss Oklahomas and some of the politicians or their wives. And, there wasn't a lot of celebrity scene in Oklahoma City, a few, because we had I ended up starting to dress the Oklahoma City Thunder girls, and then also a lot of the Thunder players' wives or girlfriends and things at that time. So some of those people, but Oklahoma's still not known as a fashion kind of capital, obviously. So really the notoriety pretty much came from Project Runway, and when I made it on season 3 of that show, and then kind of kind of catapulted my name a little bit at that point, just because it was, such a big show on Bravo at the time.
So was that the big boom that launched your brand to the next level, being on reality television?
It definitely was a huge stepping stone for sure. And part of it, a lot of people don't realize, like, I wasn't mass producing before Project Runway. So I was making everything myself. I had a clothing boutique, and I was buying other designers' goods as well as making, a few pieces a month that I made. But usually I was doing like really gorgeous pageant gowns. So, at that point, I kind of had a waiting list. Like I could only make so many myself. I had hired a seamstress, and she was helping me, so we could pump out, up to a dozen a month. But realistically, that's only, 144 a year. You know what I mean? That's not that many pieces. Whereas now we're doing, 20,000 pieces a year, so, and that's obviously with production and stuff like that. But so I went to Project Runway, and I really became really inspired at that point. I was 27 years old, and going to this show and competing with people that had gone through these rigorous auditions. I mean, over 10,000 people auditioned the year that I made it on the show, and being there with the 14 other designers that made it, I became inspired that, oh my gosh, like, there's people on this show that are already selling their product in other stores. They figured it out. Like, why have I not done this? And I was beating them, in the competition. So that kind of gave me the little bit of confidence that I needed. That was like, okay, now is the time. And I recognize that this is a huge show, so this is the time that I need to be able to offer more of my products. So after I finished up filming the show, I went home, I designed and created about 17 gowns in my kitchen, like in our little breakfast nook area. So I worked all summer long that month before I got a tiny little showroom at the America's Mart in Atlanta, and it's a little temporary showroom, and hoping to sell like 30 gowns to different retail stores. And I ended up selling like 150 and was like freaking out, because I was like, how am I going to make all these dresses in 3 months when I had to deliver them? But that's when I started mass producing, was right after Project Runway in 2007.
Now, how did experience on the Project Runway All Stars, how was that experience different?
You know what? It was really fun. Well, first off, girl, we got paid. So the second time around, once you're an all-star, they give you a little bit of money for each day that you're there, which over, 6 weeks does add up. But we're not talking like, major dollars by any means. I think it was like $150 a day. But I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did. So it's fine. But anyway, they give you a little bit of money a day for being there. So that was one change. The second change is they were much nicer to us. So like we got to be a little bit more divas. I don't really have a diva type, like personality, but I did ride the coattails of some of my diva designer friends while we were there when they would ask for Starbucks twice a day. I'd jump in on one of those Starbucks runs. So, little things like that changed. And then, I definitely had a little bit more confidence. I mean, I had built a good brand. I was hired by a shoe line, so my shoes were in like 2,000 stores across the world, and my dresses were in, 500 stores at that point. But I was a different person. When I went the first time, I was still so naive and of course so excited to be there. I was just a little old gay boy from Nashville, Tennessee, and the only designer that wasn't from LA, New York, or Miami. So the first time I was just happy to be there and just enjoying the crazy ride. So I definitely built a little bit more confidence about my skill level and my work ethic and all of that.
Now, for those listening who may not be familiar with your brand, tell us the type of clothing you carry, the size range, and the price point.
Okay, so for my, I have several different brands that we offer. For my Johnathan Kayne collection and my Johnathan Kayne by Joshua McKinley collection, which is a collab collection that one of my friends that I made on All Stars, Joshua McKinley, I hired him to come on board after we competed against each other, and we just kind of became fast friends. And I really respect his work ethic. So we have that collection together. That collection, I carry in stock 00 to size 16. Now, I make anything that my retailers want in any size, and don't charge any extra for that, because a lot of people don't realize I used to be quite plus size myself. By the end of my freshman year of high school, I topped the scales at I quit weighing myself at 315 pounds. So I was shorter at that point. So I was a pretty big little boy. And so I know what it's like to be on both sides of the scale. So I'll make something for my retailers. If they want to dress in a size 24 or 28 or whatever size, it doesn't matter, then I am glad to make that, and I don't charge any extra, even though my factories do charge me extra because it takes more fabric, to make a gown. It takes 4 times the fabric to make a size 24 than a size 4, and beading and all that stuff. So I offer evening wear, jumpsuits, cocktail dresses, in that collection, anything kind of glamorous and fun. There are some simple dresses in there that could be worn for other things, but for the most part, it's a special event. If you're going to be wearing our stuff, you're going somewhere to be glam and glitzy and all of that stuff. Then I have my Johnathan Kayne for Sydney's Closet collection, which was a collab collection with my friends over at Sydney's Closet. And that collection starts at a size 16 and then goes up to, I think we have styles. We expanded the size chart this year because we're in our second collection. And it did so well for our launch last year that we had a lot of requests of girls that were over a size 24. Last year it only went 16 to 24 since it was our first year. We didn't know how people would, kind of accept the collection or if they would, do well with it. So we got so many requests to expand the size chart from there. So I believe on certain styles now we're going up to a 32. And then I have my So, and then I have a shoe collection, and I designed that, and that's a licensing agreement with a shoe company, Benjamin Walk, that's been in business since 1896, a super long time they've been making shoes. And it's all children and adult kind of formal shoes. So to wear with the gowns and fun fashion outfits and jumpsuits and all of that stuff. I do have some low heels all the way up to 5.5-inch platform, stilettos, sexy shoes. And then lastly, sorry, I've got a lot of questions. Lastly, I just launched this year. They're not even in the stores yet. I just launched this year a little line of children's princess dresses. So for the most adorable little birthday party for your little pumpkin or for a pageant. So, and that little line is called Sugar Cane, and its size range is from a 2 to a 16 preteen.
Now, you don't do wedding gowns, or you do wedding gowns too?
I felt like I was talking too much, and I forgot that one. So I do have a little private line of bridal gowns for my retailers only. So it's not sold. A private line basically means that it's not sold online at all. So it's only for my brick-and-mortar retail stores. And we launched that 3 years ago. So yes, we do have a bridal line. And then we also do custom stuff, but it's not a full collection of custom. But we do quite a bit of custom pieces for any of our clients that want something really, really unique and special. And we do those quite a bit. We do about 200 custom pieces a year.
Wow. Now tell me, how did the idea for the collaboration with you and Phyllis of Sydney's Closet come about?
It was such an organic occurrence. So what happened was we both show our collections at some of the same trade shows and markets, and they had a permanent showroom down in Atlanta at the America's Mart, huge, gorgeous building down there, and we were on the same floor, on the 10th floor there, and our showrooms were just down the hall from each other, pretty close to each other, and we just kind of struck up a friendship. You know, we're in the same market, but not super direct competitors. Because they offer plus size exclusive. I offer, you know, plus size, but the main bulk of my business at that point was really sizes 2 through 14. So we became friends anyway. We would have been friends even if we were competitors. We have that kind of friendly personality. But it worked out where once we got to know each other a little bit, we would always want to go see each other's collection, see what they had done. We each had done each year or season, and in her showroom, I noticed she had like a running sink with water, like running water, and she realized I had a printer. She didn't have that, and I didn't have the running water, so we ended up like bartering, like, hey, if I give you some water or ice, can we use your printer? And like, so we became even more friends because we were in each other's showroom all the time using those things. And then at one show in Chicago one year, we were like, you know, have you ever thought about, like, would you ever want to like collaborate and do like a line together of plus size? And Phyllis was absolutely on board, and the rest is kind of history.
Now, did you learn anything new about the plus size market or the plus size consumer during this collaboration?
Absolutely, and I continue to learn. You know, the biggest thing that I think has been really awesome for me in this collab is really kind of learning all of the detailed information that Phyllis at Sydney's Closet that she puts into every design. So she really, really worked hard on what it takes to fit a plus size curvy shape. And you know, not all curvy sizes are equal. It's one of those things where, you know, everybody kind of like changes their shape differently, you know, just on how on how they grow. And so she's done so much research on that, and, that combined with my expertise in making garments and construction and corsetry and all of that stuff, we kind of joined forces. But I learned a lot about, you know, kind of the research she had done about what it takes to fit more people in a plus-size garment. So that's been a pleasure learning that from her.
Now, this collection and all of your clothing are only available in specialty boutiques and not department stores, correct?
That is correct, yes. So we, I've kind of built my business on supporting the little guys, you know, the brick and mortar stores. And now some of these little guys are doing, you know, over $10 million in sales each year, and they have multiple locations, blah, blah, blah. So when I say little guys, I'm just meaning like individually owned private companies, not like big corporations with tons of locations and department stores, stuff like that. So, but yeah, you know, I've had a retail store, and I was a little guy, so I really appreciate, the retail side of the business, and they've been so good at supporting me and helping me build my business that, I kind of just want to stay in that corner and keep working with my little guys. I've been very blessed so far, and I think that's the best route for me. So it is offered right now through just our retail stores.
Nice. So that's you choose to do that on purpose, because when I saw that you're based in the South, I was like, I'm surprised he's not in Dillard's, because Dillard's is a big department store in the South and have a lot of formal wear.
I know. And I tell you, some of my friends sell, in department stores, and, it's a little bit of a tough market, as well, just because, there's the way to operate business with department stores is a little bit differently. It's huge purchase orders, which is great. But, if the product, department stores, they have to mark down on a certain schedule. So, and department stores do chargebacks. So if they mark down a product, then what they pay you for that product starts to go down. So, it's one of those things where I've had some friends that have had horrible luck at department stores, and sometimes it's not even because the product wasn't selling. It's just a timing situation. And some of them have even lost money on the deal. So, you know, I'm skeptical of that, as well as, you know, just supporting my little guys. I'm very blessed with what I'm doing, and I really do love the experience of going into a little boutique and, you know, a local business owned, you know, the employees and the owner is usually working with you, and that's kind of how I run my business. I work with everyone directly, and you know, I think there's something special. If you're going to a special event, let's make it really special.
So do you own a boutique or showroom in Nashville?
I do. I do have a showroom. I don't have a boutique, so it's not really open to the public. But if you contact one of our retailers and are wanting something custom or something like that, we do see clients there, and I have quite a few retail stores that take advantage of that, whether they travel with the client or whether they just send them, and then everything we do is through one of our retail stores, but we do work one-on-one with clients. We also do trunk shows all around, but I do have my showroom in Nashville where stylists can pull things for celebrities or red carpets and things like that. And have been there since I moved back home in 2012.
Yeah, and speaking of celebrity wardrobe stylists pulling things, I looked on your Instagram, and it looks like you're dressing every major country star at the Country Music Awards.
You know what? I have been so blessed. You know what? That's one thing I love about my country music stars. They love a good rhinestone as well as I do. So, you know, they're not afraid of the fringe and the feathers and all that stuff. And I love giving it to them. You know, I love anything glamorous, and that's kind of how I got started. You know, really thinking about this was I grew up, you know, seeing my favorites like Dolly and Reba and Tanya on red carpets and on TV and at the award shows, and just fell in love with them as well as their music. And, you know, it's just so surreal that I'm able to dress them and help them feel beautiful at this point in my life as well. It's pretty awesome, I will tell you. I'm very, very blessed.
Now, do you have anything else happening that we need to be on the lookout for? I know you're on the road right now.
Yeah, you know, we have just launched all of our new collections, and you know, it's a challenging year, I will tell you. You know, not a lot of buyers have been, you know, for one, in a financial position to invest in new collections. You know, a lot of our retail stores sell, you know, prom as their main part of their business, and you know, the prom industry was really hit hard this year because a lot of schools, you know, didn't get to have a prom because of the pandemic. So what happened was our retail stores, you know, ordered all of this product that they normally sell. It's like a sure thing every year. You know, these young girls get ready for, you know, their big event, and that kind of rite of passage of feeling their most beautiful, sometimes their first time in a gown. And their prom was canceled. So some of them went on and, you know, still took pictures and went to dinner, but they really missed that prom experience. So, but then there's a lot of girls that didn't get a chance to buy their gown yet. So our retail stores now have all of this excess in inventory that they've paid for, or they have on credit. You know, they haven't been able to finish paying for yet. So now they, you know, are not able to buy as much. Now, some parts of the country or world, they were not as affected or haven't been as affected, especially if they were more rural. You know, for those pockets, those stores are doing okay, but there's a lot of our brick and mortar retail stores out there that are really hurting because of this. And, you know, it's made it a little bit harder for some of us brands to launch a collection. So we're definitely having to, I tell all of my friends, you know, guys, we're going to have to work harder to make a little less money this year. So it's just the way it is. So, but, you know, I feel like I've got a really great work ethic, and I'm pretty resilient and kind of innovative on how to do things. And I'm a smaller company still in this industry, so I can switch gears and try new things pretty quickly. It's literally just make a decision and go for it. Kind of like I said earlier, just fail fast. Just make a decision and don't ponder on it too long. You just have to move. So yeah, we're out here hustling, trying to trying to get our collections in front of as many buyers as possible, but also, support them as well, so that we can all get through this on the other side and get back to our big special events that I know so many people are missing.
Well, if someone is listening and has a boutique and want to carry some of your plus sizes in their store, how do they go about contacting your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest thing would just be go to our website. All of our information is there. Contact us, page down at the bottom. Also, you can call us, as well as same situation for Sydney'sCloset.com. You can contact them through there, or just get online and find their phone number. On their website, it's going to have their phone number as well. But just give us a call. That's the easiest thing, or shoot us an email. There's plenty of ways to contact us, but that's the easiest way. Social media is also good, but I prefer through our website because that goes directly to everyone on my team so that we make sure we get back to you the fastest.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today. And before you go, tell us your official website one more time and your social media pages.
Sure, absolutely. So my website is JonathanKayne.com, and that's JonathanKayne.com. So my mom spelled my name all kind of crazy. And then all of my social media, my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those except for Twitter, all of those are Johnathan Kayne, spelled the same way. And then my Twitter, because someone stole my name, is I'm still upset about it, it's Jonathan_Kayne. But I'm working with Twitter now to try to, deactivate that other account because they've had it since I was on Project Runway before I started a Twitter account, and they haven't ever posted one post or anything. So it's just they did it to kind of
troll.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fine. I found a workaround. So it's Jonathan_Kayne on Twitter.
Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show. I thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you and learning about your brand, and continued success with everything you have going on.
Thank you, darling, and you just let me know if we can get you something glamorous. If you need to get pretty and glammed up sometime, you just let us know, and we'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Okay, well, so enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you to my fabulous guest, Johnathan Kayne. Make sure you check out his collection with Sydney's Closet called the Dangerous Curves Collection. I've been your host this evening, Shanice Lewis. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Until next time, keep thriving in your curves and be blessed.
You've been listening to The Shanice Lewis Show. For more info about the show, visit ShaniceLewisShow.com.